Hey everybody, I'm here with Spike from the Hula Girls. This is a long time in the making due to my scheduling conflicts. But thank you so much for being here, Spike.
Yeah, dude, thanks for having me.
Uh, what's it like being in Costa Mesa playing surf music?
Well, the Hula Girls have been around for about 15 years, I think it is now. So, there was an era where we were performing all the time. We're at a point now where we only kind of do like bigger things, festivals, that kind of stuff. But we played at Don the Beachcomber for 10 years and at least once a month for 10 years. And it was a good time. Tiki and surf music are very prevalent here in Southern California.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that leads me to the style of music. I'm gonna make an observation, and then you tell me how close I am,
Okay.
and maybe expand on that a little bit. I
Yeah.
I hear Hawaiian, exotica, rockabilly, and surf. Is there anything I'm missing?
I think that really kind of nails it down. I think there are probably Western swing, like maybe like way in the background, but that kind of also goes to like the Hapa Howley, the Hawaiian Hapa Howley kind of stuff, you know. It all kind of lives in the same world.
Uh, so being that playing in tiki bars, I love the background. By the way,
Oh,
uh,
thank you.
what is the difference between playing in like say a club, uh, in like downtown Los Angeles and playing at a tiki bar? What's the vibe like?
Well, at a tiki bar, people expect what we are doing to happen. You know what I mean? We've opened for bands like the Reverend Horton Heat and the Addicts and X and all kinds of stuff. And I think a lot of time people are like, "Wait, what's the hell's going on here?" And I always liked playing with those kind of bands because I like to I used to love going to rockabilly shows where it was like rockabilly band with a surf band with a punk rock band. It like keep the audience guessing. So it was never weird to me. You know, one of the shows that we never got to do that I really was like excited about was opening for Head Cat. And it never happened, but it would have been, you know, us with Lemmy from Motorhead.
Yeah, yeah, that would have
So
been pretty cool.
yeah, it would have been a good one.
So, tell me about your 7 inch.
Yeah. So we have a brand new record out on High Tide Recordings. The song is called Taboo. The other side is Zombie Stomp. Taboo is a cover from a band called The Jokers back in the 1960s. And I get the reason why I wanted to do this song is so that I had a reason to use my double neck Dan Electro guitar. And it's a baritone and a six string. And for the song you got to go down to B. And so yeah, it's a lot of fun to play. You can see I did a little illustration of the
Ah,
double
nice.
neck.
Very cool. So,
Thank-
what's it like? I mean, High Tide puts out really high quality music, and yours is no different.
oh,
But
thank you.
what's it like working with them and seeing the machine do its job?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because the machine is really just two people. It's, you know, Vincent and Magda. And they've filled such a void, I think, in music, where everybody else is saying that music is kind of dying and recorded media is dying. They've gone the other direction and they've leaned heavy into 45s, you know, LPs, any, you know, vinyl stuff. I think they even started putting out cassette tapes now.
I think so.
Yeah, totally. Which makes sense for, you know, some of the younger bands because for you know, there are a lot of people younger than us who never got to experience cassette tapes. And
Yeah.
I guess they think there's something great about cassettes, which is which is wild to me. You know, I remember when CDs came out and it was like so exciting that you could skip songs instead of having to like
Yeah.
rewind, fast forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they do such an important work in like the high tide summer holiday, and then of course the high tide winter holiday that happened there in Pittsburgh. Was it Pittsburgh? Yeah. And just putting together festivals, and also they have their hands in the Hula Festival and a bunch of different things. So I think that High Tide is satisfying a really important role in this kind of music.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to be playing this summer, with the high tide bands.
Yeah.
Um, how does it feel to be a part of that? And not the most, but who are you looking forward to seeing?
Um, yeah, you know, the Hula Girls have almost stopped a couple times now, and if it wasn't for Vincent and Magda saying what you guys are doing is really cool, and we want to elevate you to a headliner position in multiple different uh venues and festivals, like it's pretty rad. And especially after going to the High Tide Summer Holiday a couple of times, and then being asked to headline it is just like such an honor. And who was that rockabilly guy? He's playing the High Tide Summer Holiday. He's got a song, Dig a Hole. You know that song? Dig a
No.
Hole. Oh man, I think he's Italian. I'm really looking forward to seeing that guy. So
Oh,
you'll have to look up his name.
yeah.
uh oh man, what the hell's the guy's name? Oh, it's embarrassing. Sorry. Yeah. But it's a good rockabilly song, and it's, I don't know how you write a rockabilly song that like rises above all the rest these days, but he did that, just like JD McPherson's done that in the past, and the Belfuries have done that. So yeah, super excited to hear that. Yeah,
Awesome.
what's his name? I don't know.
So, tell me, when I first um heard of the Hula Girls, I was expecting to see girls. And then the more I checked out your social media, I'm like, I'm not sure there's girls in this band. So tell me where that comes from.
Yeah, man, we the name was super clever until we got go-go dancers. In my opinion, it was I wanted I wanted to do something like on par with the New York Dolls or the Lazy Cowgirls, like bands like that, where it was like a girl name for a bunch of dudes playing the music. And I thought that was like really clever. And then I was dating this girl at the time, and she was like, "You need go-go dancers." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, we do." And so we've had like a kind of a rotating cast of, maybe 10 different girls who have go-go danced with us. About three or four who have been really, really consistent. But yeah, the name was super clever until we got go-go dancers. And then people are like, "Oh, those girls are the Hula Girls." And it's like, no, it's me and Shorty and Gary and, whoever's playing drums at the time. Those are the Hula Girls. So yeah,
So this is what I always found interesting.
yeah,
I love the Hula Girls at the shows. I find it really elevates the experience like
thank you.
tenfold.
Yeah.
Um, tell me what it's like hooking up with these people and kind of explaining what it is that you want them to do.
Yeah, I kind of give the girls free reign. The ones that we really try to use the most are Neva Moore and Audrey Lorraine. They've been with us the longest, and they've kind of worked out their own little things where like every couple songs they switch sides, or for our new song Taboo, there's a gong at the beginning, and I have the girls like whack the gong, and just we're trying to involve them more and more so that they're not just I guess window dressing,
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, it was one of those things where, when we started doing a lot of surf instrumentals, I just knew that surf instrumentals are super interesting, like just to old guys. And it was like, what can we do to bring in maybe a younger crowd, or people who are, give them something more to look at, and I think that like Low Straight Jackets was really good at that kind of thing, at like providing more of a show in surf music than just, here we go, we're going to play the song perfect, because anybody can do that. And it's yeah, especially surf music is such a tricky thing to hold people's attention. because after like 4 or 5 songs, you go, dude, I get it. I've heard it, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
And in that's really interesting point of view. Trying to bring the young people in because I think, you know,
we have a
I'm
deficit of that.
yeah, I'm trying to do that.
Mhm.
Um I think there are a lot of young people that once they hear surf music, they're like, oh,
Totally.
especially like musician types.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Especially like I think it was the rebirth was really during well, maybe due to Pulp Fiction and tying such a rad song, Miserlou, to such like a brutal scene. And I'm just like waiting for what's the next thing to do that, you know? I think that Messer Chups are doing a really good job in bringing like especially like a lot of like people who are into kind of goth and like horror stuff into the scene. I think the Surfragettes did an incredible job because they covered that Britney Spears song, and I think it got a lot of eyeballs
yeah,
into music. So I don't know, what's the next thing? What's the mainstream thing that brings it back in, you know?
yeah, it's definitely as far as the United States, it's Americana. It's something to do with the culture that
Yeah,
kind of kickstarts it, right?
totally.
So, look, I guess the question is, what do you pair it with to make sense?
Yeah, I don't know. And culture is so fractured right now. It's not like everybody goes home and watches the same show on TV anymore.
Yeah,
And even movies like it's like people are putting way less importance on things like movies, and
yeah,
music. So I don't know what you do. Excuse me. I don't know what the avenue is that makes this stuff popular again, you
you know
know?
what I think we need? We need a revival in beach party movies.
That would be great.
Like not like an
Not
excuse me
modern,
for saying something, but not like a Gen Z or millennial type,
right?
but like an honest to goodness throwback
Mhm.
with modern music.
Yeah,
I think would be really interesting.
that would be cool. I think that YouTube is probably going to play a big part in hopefully bringing some of this music back. You
Yeah.
know, I really try to feature a lot of well, a lot as many great bands as I can on my own YouTube show and Spike's Breezeway Cocktail Hour. I just had Los Pacalolos on the show, and
Oh, I
uh
like them.
yeah, they're great. And I think YouTube maybe has a little bit more weight these days than TV
Yeah.
shows, you know?
The problem with YouTube, and that's my platform that I
Yeah,
use.
totally.
The problem is it takes so long to build an audience,
Yeah,
like a YouTube audience. Like you could tell your friends and people in the scene, and they'll go there. But
sure.
somebody who is a YouTube fan, it takes a long time to reach them. And
It's very what's the word? Um did It's not very encouraging, is it?
no,
Because
but
you work really hard on this stuff and then you're like, how come I'm not getting the views?
yeah, but you after I mean, if you keep plugging away, it happens.
Yeah,
That's what they say, just like try to make it better every time
totally.
and remain consistent. If somebody knows you're publishing every week,
Hmm.
then they'll know to keep coming back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's the key. And it's not an easy road, but it is rewarding if you stick it out.
I totally agree.
So tell me about your show. I'd really be interested in checking it out.
Yeah, so it was born out of the pandemic. It was like the Hula girls couldn't perform anymore because all the venues were closed and stuff. And I had always been interested in cocktails, just because of the Tiki thing. And so I just started making these cocktails, just following the recipes, but then uploading them to YouTube. And now after like 4 years, we have 23,000 subscribers, something like that. And I've had people like Billy Zoom from X and um, surfboard shapers and burlesque performers and all kinds of different people on the show, and it's been a lot of fun. But it is discouraging too, because you see other people pop up, and if they only focus on one thing, like if they just focus on cocktails, it seems like YouTube goes, okay, I know what you're doing. We're gonna punch you up a little bit more in the exposure place. But if I'm interviewing people and doing cocktails, YouTube gets like, well, like, what do I do with this? And now I'm
Yeah,
starting to more tiki bars and try to bring the audience along. And for the audience who loves it, I think it's working really well. But for bringing new people in, well, for YouTube to recommend new people to come in,
yeah,
that's the roadblock. And it's probably what you run up against also.
yeah. Because we have different segments.
Yeah, totally.
It's not just interviews. The interviews are the center, but when I interview somebody, I ask them to do a bunch of different segments.
Right.
If they participate, all the segments are different. So
Yeah,
it's kind of like, but it is a music magazine. You know what I mean? Like yours is related to music in some way
sure.
in the culture.
Yep.
I would, I would love to check that out. And what was it called again? Can you send me a link for that?
Yeah, yes. Spike's Breezeway Cocktail Hour. If you go to youtube.com/Breezeway Cocktail Hour, you can find it there.
Awesome, awesome. I'll put a link in the description. Also, for the Hula Girls 7-inch Taboo, I'm gonna put a link in the description where you can go buy the digital copy and check it out.
Cool.
Which I recommend you do first because it's amazing. It's very diverse and very well recorded. And then pick up the 7-inch, which looks beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
thank you so much, Spike, and congratulations on the wonderful artwork and the wonderful music on the Taboo 7-inch.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.